Mining employment. What's changed in the last 5 years? Conversations about mining. Today, we've got Jess here from Beyond WA Resumes and Recruitment, and you've got a question to ask me, Jess.
I do. Hey, Andrew, thanks for having me. I do have a question for you. I just wanted to have a chat to you about how the industry has changed and what jobs, are in mining now. I have a lot of people come to me and they're looking for jobs that don't really exist anymore, or there's not an abundance of them to where the industry was 5 years ago, to what people were looking for and roles that they were trying to find to make good money and have a career progression. What's changed within the industry, and what roles aren't really around like they were 5 to 10 years ago?
So the big one is the oil and gas. When they were building the three big gas plants around Australia in the Pilbara and the one in Darwin, that was just crazy. And that ended at about 2018. But for a good 10 years before that, you had people getting on as TAs making $160,000, $180,000 a year, tradespeople making well over $300,000 a year. And it was just a supply and demand thing. There weren't enough people. There was a lot of demand for the plants to be finished. They all ran over budget, cost them billions of dollars more in money. But the whole thing was that was a one-off thing. Now they've built the plants. They don't need all the people that they used to build them to do anything else. So that's one big thing that's changed. And I see a lot of people looking for TA jobs, thinking that they're going to go into that sort of environment, and they're not. The other thing is the driverless trucks. So in coal and iron ore, they've really embraced the driverless trucks, iron ore especially. If you use BHP as an example, they, I get people tell me this all the time, and a lot of people have to sit through lectures, and somebody foolishly sent out an email telling them this is exactly what was going to happen in about 2019, actually. That, 2018, BHP had 6,500 people on their iron ore sites. The end of 2024, they want to have it down to 890 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that gives you an idea. They're turning everything driverless. They, it's not just the trucks anymore. It's the drills, it's the graders, it's the dozers, it's everything that they can think that they can do driverless. They're doing, and they're putting everybody into the centre down here in Perth. Rio are doing it, FMG are doing it, Roy Hill are doing it, everybody's doing it. But the new jobs that are coming on to drive these driverless equipment, it's not paying $150,000 a year. It's still week on, week off, but a lot of them, it's, less than 80 grand a year to do it. And so I find that people are getting into those traineeships thinking that they're going to get, 120, 130,000 a year. And I have a lot of people call me up, tell me that they don't even make $70,000 a year cash, in the traineeship with what they're doing. And it's not going to be much beyond that once they actually start full time in the job. That's the big thing. And so where the industry's moved is into gold and into everything that's going into the batteries. So that's where all the money is. So a lot of people don't realize that gold's over $3,000 Australian an ounce, copper's over $12,000 a ton, nickel's up around $26,000 a ton Australian. It's all, big money, and it's all stuff that's going into the batteries that are going to save the planet. So that's where your demand is, and that's where your jobs are. So you've switched from looking for a TA job in an oil, in construction in oil and gas, to you should be looking for a nipper's job or a truck driver's job in an underground mine somewhere, or an offsider's job as well on the surface or underground.
Awesome. And what about lithium? Like how the lithium, I know the lithium's getting a lot bigger over here in WA.
Yep. They've just, Burncut have just signed a 4-year $1 billion contract for the new lithium mine with Liontown. And they've started construction. I think we've got a post of one of the portals that they blew up on the Facebook page that we've been sharing around. But yeah, they've got 6 portals on the go at once. That's going to cause huge demand. They're going to have to pick, 400 to 600 people up from God knows where. Well, I know what they're going to do. They're going to poach. They're going to pay more money, and they're going to go and steal everybody else's workers and make that somebody else's problem. But that's what they do. That's what everybody does. And so the good thing is it creates a lot of entry-level roles at the bottom, and that gives you your flow through. And so it doesn't just create jobs in one area of the country. It'll be creating jobs all over the country.
Awesome. And what's a job, that used to exist 5 years ago that doesn't anymore? What's the main one that everyone's looking for? I know dump truck operators. Everyone's always wanting to become a dump truck operator.
It's the roles still exist, but it's not how the person envisaged the role. So shutdown worker TA. So that's your classic example. When you are talking about oil and gas, shutdown worker TA, you're talking about $180,000 a year job. You're talking about a shutdown worker TA at the moment. You're talking probably $35 an hour at the moment. You're talking a $75,000 a year job. That's the big difference. That people, they're thinking, that I'm going to get this job, and then it actually turns out to be this job. And it just is what it is, because they've got an oversupply of people. And whenever you've got an oversupply of people, the wages go down. In underground at the moment, there's an undersupply of people, so the wages are just going through the roof. And it's the same in exploration. They need a lot of extra people. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks
Excellent.
for that.
No worries. So if you've got any more questions that you'd like us to answer, please send them through. And if you could like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.
Thank you.